when the deceased come through and tell messages. But he's the real deal, and I'm excited to hear him. And the other person that's going to be along those lines or that genre is Stephanie Burke, and she is on Spooky South Coast as well as one of the hosts. And she will be performing seances, and she's been intuitive since she was a young child. She's a Reiki master. She's been, connecting with others from other dimensions of the world for quite some time now, and so she's going to be on as well to perform some seances to connect with those that have passed on. So, and I don't know. I have not spoken with Stephanie, so I'm not sure if she channels the voices through. But I have not heard that's the case, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think that typically they do channel the voices nowadays. But when in the 90s, I went to Hawaii and I met Arthur Pacheco. Remember Arthur Pacheco, TJ?
Oh,
and
yeah,
Arthur
he was very
channeled.
famous. Is he still alive?
Yeah, he died. He died about, I don't know, between 5 and 10 years ago. Yeah, he died. He moved out. He moved out of Hawaii. But anyway, but he also did where your grandmother's standing or some woman is standing behind you or beside you, and she has a message. So he did both styles. But I was so shocked to see that was there was a website that had about 30 or 40 recordings of all the different voices. So it was the same channeler, and the voice came in, and sometimes the voice was a female. And it was a male channeler. It was fascinating, but there was nothing there but the recordings. There were no visuals. There was just the audio recordings of these seances that happened in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s. So anyway, that was an old style. I guess all those people are dead now. I don't know any of those people are alive. Except for that one that did the conference where you are, TJ. Remember I was telling you, what was his name? You guys did a big conference in Florida.
Prague. He's fixing, we brought him to Pensacola, but he's fixing to do the living. Oh, yeah, I love James because he had 2 TV shows that he was working on. Remember, you like The Medium, and what was the other one? I don't remember him. But James,
I
James
don't think
he
does that style.
No,
I don't think he does that style either,
Not
but he was there. Yeah, he was there at these recordings, and there was a young James Van Prague, and during one of the things, the voice that came through, whoever it was, said, "And you, James, you're going to be a very famous psychic, and you've got to start doing your work because you're sitting there just in the audience, just listening to this. You need to be doing this work." And so that's what got him started. Was this voice from the other side? I don't know which one it was. Said, "No, wherever they were doing these seances." Where they had the voices. So the one woman you're talking about, she calls it a seance. Where was she? I'm on your site. Oh, Stephanie Burke. Tell us about Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie is from Massachusetts, and it helps host the show Spooky South Coast along with Tim Weisberg. And she is basically an intuitive. She has been helping others connect too, as well with those that have gone beyond. For many years now. She really, enjoys the paranormal as well, and it's been with her since she was a young child, especially being an intuitive. And she basically uses her gift really to help other people, understand more about death and that loved ones, are there, and that, death is not the end of our spirit, our soul, our essence. And so she helps people, connect with that. She's also a Reiki master, so she does some healing as well, helps people heal from past traumas. She's been doing that for over 10 years. She's on Saturday evenings on her show, Spooky South Coast, and I have not met her yet, so I'm excited to meet her and hopefully participate in one of the seances, although the paranormal side does tend to do shy away from it a little bit, kind of freaks me out a little bit, but yeah, it'll be exciting to chat with her.
She studies with James Van Prague and mediumship development too. Stephanie Burke.
Absolutely.
So
yep.
And she goes through some of the stuff I do. Excuse me. Embarrassing.
I had the chokes when I came on. Yeah. It was like, where does that come from? So Jaimy, what are you going to present?
Yeah, I'll be presenting on Sunday along with some with some amazing speakers. But I'll be presenting Sunday, and My talk, so one of the things I've gravitated towards, research paranormal, as you mentioned, and the ufology piece and a little bit of the cryptozoology, but what's fascinating the most is the whole ufology topic. And I think why it fascinates us is I think that's, can really change, how we live as a civilization on Earth once it's, commonly known that maybe we're not alone in the universe and that there's other extraterrestrial intelligent beings that I believe are visiting us, which based on the evidence I've come across. And so for me, that's the amazing part. And where it ties to the spirituality piece is, I think the reason that, we kind of, as a human civilization, are in our little bubble still is because maybe we haven't evolved yet to a point where we can spiritually connect with these other beings who I think are more technologically advanced than us, as well as spiritually in their ability to understand consciousness. And, I think they're telepathic, these beings, is, in my opinion, from what I've come across. And so that's the part I'll be talking about is the ufology piece, and really present the evidence that's there and talk about, the extraterrestrials are here and people really don't care as a civilization and why that is. And that's kind of the basis of my talk that I plan to present on that Sunday. So provide some evidence, say here's evidence that they're here and people don't care. And I think here's why people don't care and what can be done to, change that, because I think would be a big leap for us when people do care and realize that it's a reality.
You mean people, excuse me, but are you saying that who don't care? I mean, I care, but then I've been dealing with them. Who are the people that don't care? But the reason is Jan and I are both ET contactees and we're both authors, but that's fine. But how do you mean people don't care?
I'm talking about the mainstream. I think the mainstream hasn't caught on yet. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's certainly many people who do care, actually. But for the most part, I think everyone focuses on the what they have to do, their daily job. Everyone has. It's a world of go, where there's more people interested in what the Kardashians are doing versus this topic, for that example. So that's the kind of that's where we are as a civilization, and I think eventually that will change, and when it does, that'll be a big leap for us.
I get it. Okay, yeah, you're just making it broad the way I do that a lot. I tend to talk in generalities, and when you're doing radio, because we have so many people all over the world, we have to say what you mean, because, you're still like preaching to the choir with us, because we have a lot of paranormal researchers and, ufologists, alienologists, phenomenologists, and then Janet and I have been working together for years in the ACO Association, and we've got a lot of friends in the UFO Association. But paranormal and the X-Files, I'm an avid X-File, and I don't understand why it's just not more smashing. I guess they need some more people like Philip K. Dick writing or something, But we've had Dr. Rick Miller's in our club, ACO Club. We've got a lot of great authors in our Authors Book Club. So we invite you to join us whenever you just don't lose our names and numbers. But are you where you can do other books now? Are you going to continue doing authoring? Are you going to get more into the psyche or EVP, or what do you have planned? Doing more events, or give us an idea of the future?
Yeah, absolutely. This is my first event that I've always wanted to put on an event like this. When I saw Valerie was doing it, I really give her kudos for her courage in pulling it together. And she works full-time job, I do as well, and so I think my plan is to go through this convention, learn from it, continue to do my research, and then I'd love to do another convention. We hope to turn this into an annual event if it's a success this year.
Yay!
And continue to really help help people understand about these topics and really what's happening out there. And so that's what I'm passionate about. I think I'm a pretty mellow person, but I get pretty excited when it comes to these topics because I think, they're so exciting. There's so much that we don't know, and there's so much that others don't know. And so to help educate people, about these topics really, excites me, and it's fascinating too because it's kind of taboo, right, in the mainstream circle. So I may be at a dinner event or some kind of function, and something will come up, and I'll talk a little bit about research I've done or about the book or about the conference, and people won't say anything, but then I'll go off in the corner to get a snack, and someone will come talk to me saying, hey, so I want to know more about what you were asking, on a one-on-one. So I think people are hungry for the information, and people are fascinated by it, but there's still that sense of taboo. So how do we get beyond that? And I think more functions like these help people feel that it's okay to talk about it and be interested in these things. So that's kind of my plan, is to help just spread the word and drive awareness around these, all these topics. And of course, I'm a fan of the X-Files show, so of course, we'll also have that aspect of it as well.
Well, what a great venue, Crown Plaza. Oh, it's awesome, folks. So, and the price is right. I mean, are you believing that, Janet? $60? But it's way up there in Rhode Island,
folks. That's a great price.
Yeah, awesome price. So you guys, this is a beautiful venue. They're going to have exhibitors, and who's helping bring in people, because it's way up there, folks. It's but I love Rhode Island, and he's right. Now there's a big 3M company up there, isn't there? Are you familiar with the area since you live up in Rhode Island? Have you seen the 3M?
Yep, 3M is there. We have Hasbro, the toy company. They're pretty big here in Rhode Island as well. So they make all the Mr. Potato Head, all the Hasbro toys. They're right up the road and just right around Providence. So yeah, it's a beautiful area. Stay Rhode Island's a fantastic place to visit for your listeners who, would need to travel. I highly recommend it. It's Warwick is beautiful. You're within short distance to the water anywhere you go. So if you love the ocean, Rhode Island's got plenty of that around, it's a beautiful location. The state, where I live down in the southern part of the state, down in Newport, awesome beaches. I know it's a little cool for that here in Rhode Island, but they're still beautiful to come see and visit. A lot of great restaurants, so it's a beautiful state. And again, Warwick is pretty much centrally located, so you can be anywhere within the state, probably within about half hour, whether you want to go see the city, Providence, which is a cool little city, and if you want to go to Boston again, it's only an hour north, and then down south, as I mentioned, great beaches, great lighthouses, very New England colonial type feel to it here in Rhode Island, and a lot of history as well. If you're interested in some history, there's history here as well.
In Rhode Island?
Yeah, I was.
Go ahead,
Jenny, you mentioned.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I was up there years ago. We were teaching Tantra, and some clients flew us up to Providence. And apparently my ancestors are from that part of the world, Connecticut and Rhode Island, and they came over to Pittsburgh across Pennsylvania on a Conestoga wagon. That's the story my grandmother told me. So you were going to ask me a question. Go ahead. What were you asking? Go ahead. You said.
I was going to say, earlier, Jenny, you asked about Paul, and whether I'd known him, and I do know him. I met him several times. I was going to say, too, about the conference, that he on the paranormal side, he is amazing speaker and fascinating. Some of the research he's done, as I mentioned earlier, go back to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and one of the, he has pictures of things he's captured, which are phenomenal, that he shared in prior presentations. But one of the most amazing stories he ever told me was back in the late 70s. He got a call from Ed and Lorraine Warren for a case down in Connecticut in Bridgeport, and because I asked him one time, had he ever been physically interacted with any of the paranormal beings, and he told me this story. He said the craziest thing that ever happened was he went down there, and when Ed and Lorraine and he got down to the house in Bridgeport, he said the firemen and the police were outside of the home. Did he tell this story on your show?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No,
so he said
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the police and the firemen were outside the home, and he said, you'll never forget their faces. They were just pale white. They refused to go into the house. And when he walked in, he said, I'll never forget what he saw. He said the refrigerator, normal-sized refrigerator, was floating in the kitchen. So it was poltergeist activity. And there was a young girl, I think she might have been a young teenager, maybe 11 or 12 years old. He said she was in the corner, and everyone was so afraid they wouldn't go and get her, and she was in the corner just kind of cowering And he saw her. He saw the refrigerator full. And he went to get her. And as he did,